I think one of the hallmarks of the lawnmower parent is that they spend a lot of time and energy controlling as much as they can of the environment and of the relationships around their child. And that takes a lot of energy, that takes a lot of time, and it almost very easily blurs into, I guess, an over-commitment, an over-emphasis. You're inserting your life becomes their life. And I think that it limits the opportunity for the parents as well.
You're Doug and you're on Sunshine, and I have our good friend Sarah Blake in the house with us. And today we're talking about lawnmower parenting. If you don't know what lawnmower parenting is, Sarah's the one to tell us. How you doing, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, let's talk lawnmower parenting. Now, when I first saw this come across, first thing I thought was helicopter parenting, like hovering over everything.
Yes.
Is it the same concept?
It's building on from that. It's kind of like the next step up from the helicopter parent, where the helicopter parent will hover, kind of watch, make sure everything's okay. The lawnmower parent takes it the next step, and instead of just hovering, they'll clear the path. It's like you're mowing the lawn, making a clear path for the kids to walk through that's safe, that's controlled. You step in, you kind of step over to make it easy for the kids.
Okay, so it's if we're making a clear path, which is a good thing for us to want to do for our kids, does that mean that they're not facing the challenges of life?
Yeah, I think what happens is the lawnmower parent kind of steps over the line too far. They become over-invested in making it easy and protecting their child from being hurt, or the difficult things, or the messy things, or the hard lessons. And it's hard to watch as a parent, to watch your kid being bullied or to fail or do things wrong. But there's this element of we have to let them learn to be able to grow into that. So there's a fine line between being a responsible parent and taking on too much where we don't give our kids a chance to learn and grow.
Yeah, okay. Do you have an example or like a scenario where you may have seen this play out?
Yeah, I've got lots. Surprise! But I first came across this with story online where schools are increasingly reporting, for instance, if a child is going on school camp, that the parent will just happen to be at the same destination where the camp or the excursion is gone. And, oh, look, we're here. What can I do and how can I help? Yeah. Or if, say, a sports day is on or a swimming carnival or whatever, and your child may not be sporty, may not like the event, increasingly parents are just stay home, it's fine, you don't need to do this. And our kids miss out because of that. It makes it easy. And, you know, my kid's not sporty. He hates those days. But I say you have to go. Even if you're just cheering in the crowd, even if you're just doing something, it's a really important learning experience. Yeah. So it's hard. It's hard to say no and set boundaries and just stand back. But it's a really critical learning phase for our kids.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. I think about like the times when I was at school. Like my mum was always like, yep, you've got to go to school.
Yeah.
Go to school. But as I got into like year 11 and year 12, she was more like, oh, you don't have to go.
Yeah.
Just take it down. You'll be fine. But I definitely think there's a trend towards us giving our kids more time off from school for events these days. So I'm hearing that a lot more with people. When it comes to the parents, is it a pressure that they're feeling because of society? Is it something that's just going on in their world? Is it?
Yeah, look, I think like all of these things, it's multiple reasons. We see on social media the perfect world, the perfect families, and I think parents want to create a perfect experience for their kids. And there's pressure to do that. And your kid might be failing or might be uncomfortable. So I think we've got used to packaging that up. And it's not nice to be uncomfortable. We don't like it. So we want to protect our kids from it. So I think the lawnmower parents' intentions are good. They want to protect and keep their kids wrapped up. But I think that we lose sight then of how important it is learning to stay in the discomfort, how important it is to problem solve through those moments. And it reduces the capacity of the child to be resilient.
Okay, so it's reducing the capacity to be resilient. Why is resilience important in our kids?
Because life is hard. Look, I can't say it any other way.
That's okay. I wanted to say that, but I figure it's better if it comes from you than from me.
Look, as a conflict strategist, you know, I wish I could make rainbows and fairy tales for everybody. Yeah. But life is messy. And I think we forget that it's in the messy moments that we really learn the most. and it's in the messy moments we discover something new about each other or ourselves and this strength that we didn't know we had. And how good does it feel when you get to the other side of those moments? That's what we want our kids to learn, because we can't protect them through life. I've sadly heard too many examples of parents going to the interviews of their teenage children to help it run smoothly. Great intention, but you're disempowering them from growing up into capable adults.
Very much so, very much so.
So that's the long-term consequences of this, right?
Yeah, no, I can't imagine wanting to employ someone if their parents have to be there with them to hold their hand, as someone who's been in leadership roles in the past. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break for the moment. We can come back, dive into that. I'm still wrapping my head around sitting in an interview with your kid. Before we went into that last break, my mind was kind of blown a little bit that sometimes parents will want to sit in an interview with their child when the child's going for a job. Now, I can understand a parent going to support their child sitting in the car outside, or maybe taking them to an interview or that, but actually wanting to be in the interview, sort of, I don't know, spidey senses, something's not quite right there. I imagine that if a parent is coming along into that space and maintaining, trying to support the child in that way, it's got to get exhausting, doesn't it?
It would be absolutely exhausting. I think one of the hallmarks of the Lawnmower parent is that they spend a lot of time and energy controlling as much as they can of the environment and of the relationships around their child. And that takes a lot of energy, that takes a lot of time, and it almost very easily blurs into, I guess, an over-commitment, an over-emphasis. You're inserting your life becomes their life. And I think that it limits the opportunity for the parents as well. And your identity becomes over-invested in your child. And I know it's done with love. I don't think there's any doubt about whether they love their child or not. But I think that healthy boundaries are important with our children as much as anything. And we're playing a long game here, right? How do we empower our children to have the skills that they need as adults?
Now, Sarah, when it comes to the support for parents, supporting, where's that line between support and interference?
So I think that there's no black and white answer, because we're all different and our kids are all different. For my oldest child, he was more responsible and he was a little bit more cautious. So he didn't go out and explore the world. He took a little bit longer. My younger child, he is full of life and energy and wants to get in and stuck in. And so I've myself had to wrestle with, where is that line about making sure he's safe, but also making sure I'm giving him enough room to grow and learn and develop his confidence. And so it's hard. We have to wrestle with it. As husband and wife, we have to get on the same page. With my youngest, we have to talk about that boundary and why it's important. And I have to check myself. My husband does it differently than I do, right? Like, he's like, go for it. I'm like, oh. But that moment is a really insightful moment, right? It's like, oh, am I being too overinvested? Am I holding him back? So it is about listening to that internal dialogue as well, and being okay with being uncomfortable. You know, I let him ride off to school today, and there's a roundabout that's very busy. So the compromise was that I'll walk into the roundabout, we'll walk over the roundabout together, and you can do the rest of the way. And I'll meet you there this afternoon. So the Lawnmower parent keeps going and keeps containing that to the next level. Whereas, you know, I'm acknowledging there's some risk, but I'm containing how much I influence and hold him back. And he was so happy, right, to have that independence, and loved it. Yeah, no, I think it's a great model that you put there. I suppose my thought that came to mind as you were saying that is, at what point is it that we start to step back? Because as you've said, there's a roundabout, you've gone, yep, cool, I'll walk you to the roundabout and I'll meet you there. For, you know, a parent with a child who is just starting primary school, you know, and might be we go all the way to school. By the time they get to grade 5, it might be I go to the bus stop or to the roundabout with you and then let them go. Where does that line come in for parents? I think for parents, we have to do the education ourselves as well, right? Because, for instance, let's take the riding to school issue. Kids don't develop their peripheral vision till much later in life. Like in year 3 and 4, they don't have an awareness. So until I understood that, I didn't fully understand how important it was for me to put those boundaries in place. So it is about educating ourselves around what's okay and what's not. It is working with the schools. Hey, tell us what's going on at this camp. What do we need to know? If something goes wrong, how will you reach out and let me know? So calming our own fears and educating ourselves is important, but also not getting sucked into cultural norms and judgment. Yeah, I think that that's the other side of the coin here, is that if by over-parenting and getting rid of all those barriers, we're somehow a better parent, we are making life perfect for our child, it elevates us. There's so much pressure to do that. And I think we diminish our children in doing so.
Now I've got a couple of text messages here. I'm going to kick off with the first one from Rose in Mount Lawley. The point to stop being a helicopter parent is when they start hiding from you as soon as they see you at school. I love it, love it. I've experienced this as a smothering grandmother. It hurts me, but I had to let go. Rose, feel your pain.
Oh my gosh, my eldest is starting to get to that point. Like, Mum, don't need to come in with me. Look, I think part of this is that we love our kids, right? And we want to hug them, we want to protect them, we want them to be a part. And they don't need us as much, or when the relationship changes. My eldest doesn't need me like he used to when he was younger, but he needs his dad a little bit more. And as a mum, I've had to park my ego in that and celebrate that next stage. But it's hard.
Oh, yeah, definitely challenging. Definitely challenging. I can imagine. I just have, I don't have kids, but just being able to reflect, when you with your parents, it's like, to that point, it's like, no, Mum, I don't really need you anymore.
I'm Emma. You're embarrassed.
Yes, that's right. The only time I really, I'll reflect on this. The only time I really look forward to it when I was in high school was my mum would come up to take me out of school.
That's true.
The
benefit.
Yeah.
Look, I have a horrifying story of when my dad made us go to a party, and it was back in probably the 80s when everyone dressed up, and it was a bee party, and he went as a bare bum, so the butt cheeks were cut out of his shorts. He made us walk to this party.
Would have been very
mortified.
That would have been very, very, very traumatic as a child.
Less helicopter and lawnmower, and perhaps more I don't care.
Yes. Here's a question from Steve. A question for Lawnmower and parenting conversation. My daughter is disabled, so we need to smooth her path quite a bit more than our other children. How can we make sure we're not doing too much?
Steve, I love this question. And I love it because it recognises that all of our kids are different and they all have different needs. And it's a challenge. My eldest to my youngest needs me to do parenting differently. The fact that you're aware of it, Steve, is such a big step. And have those conversations and talk with them. And, hey, this is really hard to let you go and do this, but this is why. So I think that it's as much about coaching and working with your child than trying to comprehensively protect them and control.
Now, as we wrap this up, what are some of the things that we can do instead of being the lawnmower parent?
I guess the first thing is to know that, hey, life is going to have the hard moments. So getting our kids used to being uncomfortable and wrestling with, I don't know what to do, and problem solving, that mindset is really important. And we can help that by coaching them instead of fixing it for them. Right? So, hey, this is really hard. What might we do here? And how might we work on this together? And what do you think is the right way? So we're asking them to participate in problem solving in a way that's really different from us just mowing those lawns and clearing the path. So I think that then encourages a little bit more independence. Create little steps of independence for them. You don't have to let them walk to school by themselves day one, but like we're doing with my son, we're phasing it. We're doing little steps so that I can be confident, but also he can be confident in it. So you take little wins, you celebrate those little wins. And I think it's also finally important to recognise sometimes you will need to step in. And when you're stepping in, be really clear about why you're stepping in. So my son, when he was getting bullied, he wanted me to step in really early and make it all okay. And I had to let him do the hard work. I said, I'll step in, but only after you've done this, this, and this. So we created some pathways, some steps, and he knew that I was there, I was supporting, and I'd step in when it was needed.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice. Hey, Sarah, thank you so much. Always love our conversations, always love our laughs. It's great to have you in with us. And Family Sarah will be back in a few weeks' time. You're with Doug and you're on Sunshine.
This was recorded as part of Table Talk on Sunshine. If you want to catch up with the full episode of this, go to sunshine.com.au and look up Table Talk. You'll be able to find it there. Can I highly recommend you go and get the Sunshine app, put it on your phone. You can listen to us live anywhere, broadcasting hope across the world. If you want to listen to a long form podcast, go to your favourite streaming service. You'll find it there, or go to the Sunshine app, download it. You'll get it all there. You're with Doug. You're on Sunshine.